Coming up on today's show, I want to look at a 7-round mock draft by what I believe Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski are going to do. It's my final mock draft before the draft kicks off Thursday night, and I do these mock drafts with the impression of not what I would do as a GM, but what I predict will actually happen. And I predict in round 1, the Browns select Travis Hunter with the number 2 overall draft pick. That has been the indication and the trend over the last couple of weeks. The way Andrew Berry has spoken about Hunter to the media, he has been glowing about him. This is uncharted waters for the Browns. It's the first time they're picking in the top 50 since they took, the 2021 draft with Greg Newsome and JOK. No, not JOK. But Travis Hunter, I think, is going to be the pick at number 2. So a little bit of background on him. He's 6 foot, 188 pounds. So not the biggest guy in the world, but let's not focus on the nitpicky negatives. Let's talk about the positives. 1, he's a unicorn, right? We know this. He plays offense, and I expect him to play majority offense for the Browns and then a little bit of defense, since that's the outline of the blueprint that Andrew Berry has hinted at over the offseason. How well they can find a split is the big $1 million question. If he's only able to play offense because it's just logistically not feasible for him to play defense, then it's going to be, a pick that could be criticized as just a receiver at number 2. But if you are able to capture everything Travis Hunter brings to the football field, a guy that goes both ways, you are getting, the jack of all trades to the likes we've never seen before. And for that reason alone, I'm on board with Travis Hunter. I'm late to the party, but I think this is just too fun of a pick to pass on. And at number 2, you got to have a lot of value in the player you are taking. And for how dominant he was on offense and defense last year, it may not be the safest pick in the world, but it's a pick that is going to be unlike any other pick in NFL history. And I'd love for the Browns to be a part of that. So if you are excited for Travis Hunter to be a Brown, show him some love from the land right now. Click that thumbs up button. You know these guys are name searching. You know how this age group and this generation works. So if he comes across this video, I want him to know the Dog Pound is welcoming him with open arms. Fast forward to round 2. At pick 33, I'm going to go with Jaxson Dart. Not a pick I would make, but I predict the Browns go quarterback at 33. And to me, Dart feels like the best pick and a likely pick as well. He's 6'2", 220 pounds, so average to above average size for a quarterback. Started off at USC. This guy named Kaleb Williams went there, so he had to transfer to Ole Miss. He holds a bunch of records for the Rebels: wins, passing yards, total yards. There are some good pros to Dart's profile, but when you look under the hood, and this is why my tone is starting to shift a little bit, there are some concerns and some red flags to me. 1, the offense he ran at Ole Miss never asked Dart to make much of a decision or go through much of a progression. It was a RPO-heavy offense where the quarterback was force-fed what to do. And that's not going to be the case in the NFL, right? Things aren't going to be clean in the pros. Sundays are going to have some sloppy snaps. And you want a quarterback that can roll with the punches, not someone who's going to be shell-shocked like Tom Hanks on Omaha during Saving Private Ryan, when things aren't just, laid out for him and neatly arranged for what to do. That's where coaching is going to have to take over. So if the Browns feel like the arm talent and the accuracy and the mobility, which he does excel in all 3 of those categories, are worth the risk of someone who has some pretty bad decision-making. If you remember the end of the Florida game between Ole Miss and Florida, that right there, I remember telling myself, undraftable. And that's why I wouldn't take him. Because when the chips were down, he's got some horrible decision-making habits, and he doesn't have a lot of pre-snap or even just post-snap analysis, because it was always a Mickey Mouse offense that Lane Kiffin ran, which is great for Ole Miss, but maybe not so good when you get to the next level. So for me, I'm not interested, but I think the Browns are going to go quarterback at 33, and they're going to try and get their guy And it might be a reach, but they are not going to wait and see if he could be there in round 3. Moving on to one of their 2 third-round draft picks, I go with Kaleb Jaxson. Now, this is a little ambitious to think that he could fall to round 3, but it's a very deep running back class, and it might just be a preference thing for some teams. And if Johnson's there at the early stages of round 3, I'd love that pick for Cleveland. He's 6'1", 224 pounds, kind of a similar build and profile to Nick Chubb coming out of Georgia. Now, he only started 1 year for the Hawkeyes, so that's why he's not viewed higher by a lot of other analysts, because you just got 2024 to really go off of. But what I love most about Jaxson is the hand he was dealt was not a good hand. He was in an Iowa offense that ranked 130th out of 134 FBS teams in pass attempts. Despite that, he averaged 6.4 yards a carry and 21 touchdowns. I'm going to caution anyone to not look at him as like a goal line only back or short yardage back. He may not have first, second, and third down potential as a true rookie due to the lack of receiving skills / showcase. I mean, only 29 career grabs for the Hawkeyes, but I think that's a spot he can grow into throughout his career. I like Jaxson a lot. I feel that he is a chain mover. He is physical. He is violent, and he's got better burst and speed than people give him credit for. Plus, a bit of a return for him from Hamilton, Ohio. So I love the idea of getting Jaxson in this draft. I want to see the Browns address the running back position early on, and to me, this is a great way to do it. Before we look at the rest of my mock draft, I want to give a big special shout out to a new sponsor of ours, which is Atlas. Our sponsor today is a brand new razor company that just hit the market. They've got so many awesome deals going on right now. And before I tell you about that, let me tell you what the great perks and benefits are about Atlas. It shaves my face great thanks to 5 high-quality blades and high-performance gear as well. I've also been liking their shaving cream, the thick formula that shows me where I'm shaving and leaves my skin baby bottom soft. And their premium razor kits come with a magnetic storage hook that you can attach to your bathroom mirror or medicine cabinet for easy storage. And now for a limited time, they are offering 15% off your first order when you purchase any razor kit and the before and after set, which includes the precision shave cream and calming aftershave. Use code CHAT at houseofatlas.com. That's HOUSEOFATLAS.com with promo code CHAT for 15% off your new razor kit and before and after set. Stop wasting money and time on shaving products that don't look good, aren't effective, and cost way too much. Visit houseofatlastoday.com. Trust me, you'll love it as much as I did. I put all that information in the comments and description of today's video. Getting back to our mock draft, the Browns have 2 third-round selections, and with their next third-round pick, I'm going to go with cornerback Jacob Parrish. So let me give you a little bit of background on the K-State corner. One, this is an Andrew Berry pick written all over it. He's got blazing speed. He was a state champion sprinter, and that carries over to the field quite nicely. Now, he's not the biggest guy, 5'9", 191 pounds. So that's going to be why he probably goes more towards round 3 than round 2 in the draft. Started 2 years for the Wildcats, but when you put the film on, when you watch the highlight reel, it's the speed, and I'll also toss out the versatility that pops out. If the Browns are looking for someone that can play inside, that can play outside, I think Parrish is a great candidate for a round 3 selection. Only 2 years of I should say only 2 years. 2 years of starting experience, so there's a lot to like here. He led the team in interceptions in back-to-back seasons, 4 in 2023, and then 1 in 2024. In coverage, he was pretty solid altogether. I'm not going to cast him off as some lockdown, shutdown, Revis Island type corner, but he has a similar type, profile in a way to like Greg Newsome, which, listen, I'm doing this mock draft based on what Andrew Berry would do. And history tends to repeat itself. And so if the Browns are already thinking about a Newsome replacement, I could see them going with a versatile corner who's got great speed and athleticism, which we know the Browns in the draft are attracted to. Young, great, athletic players. And that's Parrish right there in a nutshell. So that's why I went corner at the end of round 3. Before we look at the day 3 portion of this mock draft, make sure you join us for our live draft coverage. We'll be live on the channel Thursday, Friday, an hour before it gets started. We've got giveaways, free live coverage, pick-by-pick analysis. So get the best Browns draft content available when you subscribe to the channel. Getting back to our mock draft, in round 4, I'm going to go with Anthony Belton, offensive lineman out of NC State. Let me give you a little bit of background on the initial Georgia Military College student who then transfers to NC State from Tallahassee, went to FSU school, which I guess is a local high school there. But anywho, the thing you got to know about this guy is his nickname. It's Escalade, like a Cadillac Escalade. They call him that because of his size and speed. Again, if we're thinking what would Barry look at here, he's going to look at a 6'6", 336-pound tackle who moves like a car when getting to the second level for blocks and go, hey, given the issues we've had on the offensive line, not a bad time to kind of reset a little bit and get maybe our next like James Hudson, our next Chris Hubbard, like our next swing tackle that we feel confident can hop in and have the athleticism to keep up with what we want to do offensively. Plus, there's a greater chance than none that DeJuan Jones or Jack Conklin gets injured at some point. I'm not trying to put that out in the universe, but let's just face reality here. Jones has had back-to-back injuries, season-ending injuries, and Conklin has not played a full season in a long time. So I like getting to an offensive tackle like Belton. It's not a very good offensive tackle class, so I don't think you're going to find a lot of good prospects later on. But in this mock draft, he was there at round 4, and I want to invest in the offensive line. Now, before we look at the other picks I made a trade in this draft, and I decided the Browns want to get back into round 5 because they have multiple 6th-round draft picks. I don't anticipate Cleveland using all those 6th-round draft picks, so I struck a deal with the Packers, gave them pick 192 to fall back 20 spots. Seems fair enough to me. So with this 5th-round draft pick, I decided to go with Jordan Hancock, the Ohio State safety. So let's talk a little bit about the national champion from 2024. He is originally from the Georgia area. He was basically a one-year starter. I think he started a little bit in 2023, but he's got good size altogether, so that's not something that jumps out against him. He's not one of the best athletes. He doesn't have crazy top-end speed, say like Parrish does, for example, but the production was evident. I mean, in his 2 years as an on and off again starter from 2023 to 2024, combined for 3 interceptions and 4 forced fumbles. Now, unfortunately, he does have a little bit of a medical history. Had a hamstring injury in 2022, so he missed a good chunk of 2022. But even when he came back, he really wasn't 100%. So the overall synopsis on him, as Dane Brugger from The Athletic points out, he's quick, he's physical, he's got versatility in his experience, but he's not the fastest guy. He's not, maybe your teach tape type safety. But in round 5, I'm looking for someone who could provide some depth behind Grant Delpit and this young safety room. All right. Who's ready for a wrench? Quinn Ewers, quarterback out of Texas, is my pick in round 6. He makes his return to the Buckeye State. I think Ewers is going to fall more than people will believe. So, some background on him. He's got good size. Let's talk about just the profile, and then we'll talk about the rationale behind the pick. The thing that jumps out the most about Quinn is the arm strength, right? It's why he was recruited by Ohio State. It's what makes him such a unique high school prospect. He's just got a wicked cannon of an arm. And Unfortunately for him, that arm has come to bite him a lot of times because he has made some really bad decisions. And it often comes like right from the start, which is just extra infuriating because as a coach, you feel like you can't even get into your game plan because Ewers throws an interception on the first or second pass of the game. Last year for the Longhorns, he missed a little bit of time with an injury, right? 3,400 yards altogether, 33 touchdowns, but 12 interceptions. That's a big number in college football. We all know he started off at Ohio State, but never really actually played for the Buckeyes. But I guess you can count him as an honorary Buckeye like Burrow. And then he goes and starts for the Longhorns for 3 straight seasons and, helps him reach the college football playoff and, win a couple games here and there. But the rationale behind this Ewers pick here is I feel that the Browns are going to go with 2 quarterbacks in this draft. And seeing Ewers available in day 3, I could see in round 6 the Browns taking a chance on a guy who's got a very strong arm. So that's why I pulled the trigger on this, and I'm trying to think what would Andrew Berry do. And I think Berry would like to have the opportunity to bring an extra rookie quarterback in, given the fact that it's not a very good, not a very strong quarterback class. So why not toss an extra line out there and see if that one works? It worked for the, Redskins. They took RG3 second overall and Kirk Cousins in the 4th round. So I'm sure they don't regret that at all. I could see the Browns doing the same thing in this draft. So be on alert for 2 quarterbacks taken in this draft. All right, let's move on to the rest of this mock draft here. In round 6, I decided to go with a tight end. It is Clemson's Jake Briningstool. So a little bit of background on him. Not that I, am an expert on the Clemson tight end department, but here's what I know about him at least. He's 6'5", 241. He started 2 years for the Tigers and had some pretty good receiving numbers last year. 530 yards, 7 touchdowns. The notes overall is he's a tall, lean athlete, as Brugler points out, who's got, a good catch radius altogether. I think he could be someone that offers you some versatility and some flexibility in 2 tight end sets. And with Stefanski wanting to get back to probably a more 2 tight end set offense, I expect Cleveland to add a tight end in this draft. Then to round out this mock draft, I went with Teddye Buchanan, Cal linebacker. Again, not someone that I'm going to pretend that I'm a, expert on, but he started a boatload of years in college football. Not all at Cal. Started off at UC Davis, 4 seasons there. Then he transfers to Cal. Puts up really good numbers altogether. 114 tackles, 5 sacks. He's 22 years old, so he's kind of right on that line, that threshold of, being young enough Leo-wise for Andrew Berry. Solid size, 6'2", 233. Nothing that jumps out, positively or negatively. But it's the physical traits that are just, as Brugler puts it, more good than great, which, hey, in round 7, I'll tell you what I'm looking for. Special teamers. And linebackers are a great special team, Swiss Army knife, because you can use them in a bunch of different ways because they've got good enough size to block people, but also good enough size to get off blocks. So with the JOK injury and just the Browns linebacker room constantly being, snake bitten, really the last 4 or 5 years, I like the idea of bringing on a new special team linebacker who, can compete with second-year guy Nathaniel Watson and Diabate and, try and find a home on this roster in special teams. So how would you grade my mock draft? A, B, C, D, or F? Let me know in the comment section what you think of it. This is a mock draft based on what I think is going to happen. These are not picks I would do. I would not go Jaxson Dart in round number 2. I would probably not go Quinn. Round 6, who cares about Quinn Ewers going there? Like, if you're upset about that, find me a better round 6 guy that you think is going to be some stud. So this is just my gut, prediction for what I think is going to happen on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So give me your grade down below in the comment section. I give it like a B. The Travis Hunter pick I like. I don't like the Dart pick, but I like the Kaleb Johnson pick, and I like the Parrish pick. So 33rd overall pick's going to have more weight than the picks after it, so B to B plus in my eyes. Let's pick a card to wrap up our mock draft video. Reed, which card do you want to go with? Yeah. Ace of hearts for Reed. I'm going to go with 6 of diamonds. 7 of spades. 7 of spades. All right. I'll see you all later.